Hello, welcome to Geeks Like Us, Week 6.
Hola, el burro sabe más que tú.
Back yet again to review more comics.
Yep.
First up, we'll review Dean Koontz's Frankenstein, #1.
Frankenberry.
Not exactly, but...
Not as good as Frankenberry. But
No.
Definitely not as good as
Frankenberry is
Frankenberry.
really good. I like Frankenberry.
But actually, I thought it was
Frankfurt.
a nice comic.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Go ahead, bash
Come
it.
on.
Bash it.
I hate the artwork.
There you go.
It's not that the guy's not detailed or anything, it's just
Maybe too detailed.
everybody is ripped. I mean, you have Frankenstein, who's supposed to be a monster, and he looks like a professional wrestler. Granted, he can be big and everything, but we're talking pretty boy professional wrestler. I mean, even for the mangled ugly thing, they still try and give him like the doe eyes and, you know, like not actual deer eyes, because that'd be kind of creepy and more along the lines
you
of
don't
what
know
he's
that they're
supposed
not
to be.
doe
That's
eyes.
right.
That's true.
Anyways, he just, everything is very, even a real big fat guy at the end of the comic.
Yeah.
His face is muscular as all get out. His forearms just look like big, sick hams of muscle on his arms, and he's got a big gut. Attack of the freaky giraffe-necked people. I mean, nobody has square shoulders. They all kind of angle up like this, and then they have a foot-long neck, and then their head's up here kind of out of the frame because they're freaky giraffe neck.
It's not that bad. I mean, the art is not... It's not bad art. But
No, it's not.
It's not good art.
It's if this artist was thinking, in my world, everybody's perfect and muscular.
It'd be
draw
like me.
that.
It'd be like me drawing a comic where I only have myself as a reference.
That's
Yeah.
I would not
horrible.
be perfect and muscular.
But art aside...
Nobody would have chins.
I'll say art aside, the story's really good. I think if you're a fan of the Dexter TV show or CSI, I think you could get into this comic because it's the same kind of stuff. There's an investigation that uses a lot of the CSI type terminology, and there's a villain that has a very Dexter-ish feel to it. So I think if you're a fan of the crime drama, thriller drama, you would probably like this.
As far as the story goes, it's an okay story. Just the artwork. I remember it's several weeks back. One of the comics we reviewed had a preview of this in the back. I can't remember which one it was, but I remember turning the page at the end of the comic we were reading for the review and asking Mike, "Do I have to read this?" And he said, "No." He lied.
Yes, I lied. And I think that comic was Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files, which the story reminded me a lot of. I mean, the story is a little bit cliche in certain spots.
Yep.
The kind of prickish other cops, versus our own good cops.
Stepping on each other's toes and
Exactly.
jurisdiction lines and blah, blah, blah. It's one of those things, well, I guess Dean Koontz wrote it, so I mean, if you're also a Dean Koontz fan, you'd like it too. But the art, we all kind of said is,
Well, Dean Koontz wrote the original novel it's based on. Chuck Dixon wrote the comic adaptation, him and Brett Butler.
It's pretty good.
I'm sorry, Brett Booth. Brett Butler, yeah, that made a lot of sense. Grace Under Fire, now writing comics.
No, I mean, it's one of those comics that, I mean, I enjoyed reading it for this review. It's probably not one I'd pick up weekly, but if it came out in a trade, I'd pick it up.
God, if this came out weekly, can you imagine how much writers or artist cramp that
weekly,
guy's hand is going to have?
even monthly. Even if it was a monthly,
freaky giraffe necks anymore.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a monthly series, but I probably would wait till it comes out in TPB so I could read it all at once.
Right.
Because they do leave the end of this one a kind of a cliffhanger that I do want to see what's going to happen next, but at the same time, if every issue is going to end like that, it'll get really annoying. Not that that's a bad thing.
It's not good enough that I'm willing to pay money for it.
But I'd rather
Isn't
just
the
read it all at
cliffhanger
once.
ending, though, a staple of
No,
comic periodicals at all?
Not necessarily, because sometimes they have an ending, and you're like, oh, okay, so
Well, this will have an ending when this story
I
ends.
know, and when that happens, I'll pick up the TPB, read it all at once, and I'll be happy. But single issues, I probably wouldn't get. TPB, yes.
That pretty well sum it up, I think.
I think that did sum it up. The artwork, so-so. The story, pretty decent.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'd just like to, in loving memory of Phil Hartman, say, "No read comic bad!"
That's Frankenstein for you. We'll be back.